is complete. Without context, no communication can
But somebody
truly
could
appreciate
take that out of context.
Yeah, and you've said
so
it.
I'm putting it to you then. Are you not, given what Lenny Henry said, are you not guilty perhaps with some of your routines or a joke like that, reinforcing prejudices and promoting stereotypes in the minds of people who may be inclined to think like that, and then they'll think, oh, Trevor Noah says his mother's chocolate, I'm going to go around saying that to my black friends, and they might take offence. You could be reinforcing prejudice.
You could be doing anything if you are not doing the opposites. How your action is implied does not define what you were doing. Okay,
let's look at another aspect of race. You moved just a few years ago to the United States. Your routine as a comedian often mimicked Africans and also African Americans. And about African Americans, you have said this: you are not African, but we play along. It's a very loose term, African American, because half the time you use it for people who aren't even African. As long as you're black, they say African American.
I didn't deliver it like that. You're not doing my jokes justice.
Okay, all right, yeah, I'm not Trevor Noah and I'm not a comedian.
No, but you see, that's...
But I'm just asking, are they not African American?
Here's what you're missing. What you're doing right now is the equivalent of me saying, now it's raining more than ever. I'll be here with you forever. You can always be my friend, standing under my umbrella. Ella, 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 A, Ella, 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 A. I seem like a mad person right now because I'm not doing everything that was within the context of the song Umbrella by Rihanna. When you were doing comedy merely by words, I spoke it. My eyes, my voice, my connection with an audience is completely different. People can see when you are being playful. People can see when you are saying something.
So you're being playful about
that you don't believe. That is what satire is, though.
Fine.
You're poking holes.
So you're
so in that.
So you don't believe what you say.
No. What you're leaving out in that whole joke is what I was talking about was how in America, Anglo-Saxons had successfully removed Americanisms from minorities. So every single group in America had an identity attached to the Americanness except white Americans. So it's African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, Latin American, Native American.
You don't know. You have Irish Americans. No.
But that didn't become on a box. And this is a joke for Americans. Understand that. So as an American, they understand this.
All right,
on the boxes, there is no Irish American. There is only white. But there is African American and there is Asian American.
But you know,
and there, do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
I do get
that's
what you're
the whole
saying.
point
But the point
joke.
I'm trying to make is that there was a shift amongst the Black American community to start calling themselves African American. They didn't want a definition by default, i.e., you were not white, so therefore you were black.
Yes.
They wanted to have a hyphenated identity that linked them with the continent of their ancestors. And therefore, when you say, oh, they're not really African, they're playing along, you cannot disconnect what you say from this debate that's really, captured the imagination of the African American, Black American community. And also, the point I want to make to you is when you say that, it now feeds into a debate that's current in the United States. For example, Kwame Kwei-Armah, the Black Britain theatre director in the United States, says he has conversations with African Americans now who are saying, we want to go back to being called Black American because we don't have anything in common with this recently arrived African Americans, be they Somalis, Nigerians, South Africans, such as you, they have different language and so on. So what you say feeds into that debate, and it sounds like you're saying there is a difference between African Americans and Black Americans.
There definitely is a difference.
Right.
But these are differences that can be celebrated or used to separate people. Noting differences does not implicitly make it a bad thing. When you are noticing differences, you can note them for a good reason. It's the same reason we notice different colors or we notice different flowers. That can be a good thing. If you're using it to celebrate, you can use that same thing the same way apartheid did to separate people. When you talk about African Americans, the one conversation that I was talking about was I was traveling America and I was going to a lot of universities, and I came to realize in many universities in America, the conversation you're having right now, they had an African American student body. And very quickly they noticed a shift, because they could not lump black people into a monolith. They could not lump, because there were people from the Caribbean who said, we are not African American. there were people from Africa who were like, these are not our views. We are Africans in America.
So
there
that's
is a difference.
interesting. Yeah.
And so what people
Yeah.
themselves